Hey, congratulations. You have agreed to lead, to champion your organization on a very important mission, the mission of reimagining partnerships with your key supply chain partners. Now, I think this is critically important that you've raised your hands to take this leadership role for 3 reasons. Number 1, our research has shown that listen to that number, 91% of NAED members believe that our partnerships between manufacturers and distributors do in fact need to be reimagined, 91%. Number 2, the disruptive times that we find ourselves in have escalated the need to attack this very important issue of reimagining partnerships. And number 3, and maybe this is what I'm most excited about, is that there is a plan. And there is a playbook of deep thinking tools to help you drive these deeper, these more meaningful, these more strategic conversations and planning with your supply chain partners. Hi, I'm Dirk Beveridge, the founder of Unleash WD and the lead researcher on this project, Reimagining Partnerships between Distributors and Manufacturers. Now, what I wanted to do is to spend a few minutes with you on this video to help you understand and to give you some tips in terms of how to get started. All right? The first category we should talk about is how do you go about choosing your internal team in terms of who's going to be part of this more strategic reimagining of your partnerships. I think it's critically important that you think strategically about who's going to be on your internal team. And you might want to think about this in terms of 3 different groups being represented, okay? Number 1, let's think about the executive owners. These are the individuals in your organization who have the ultimate responsibility for partnerships. These might be the president, the owner, the senior VPs in your organization, all right? They need a role, a voice, a part in this. Number 2 are functional leaders. These are the individuals who have the responsibility in your organization for the development of the strategies and systems and processes for driving growth and success in your organization. Now, these might be the VPs of sales, purchasing, supplier relationships in this case. And then the third group of individuals you're going to want internally on your team are who I call the field implementers. These are the individuals who are going to be responsible for executing. You're going to be developing new strategies, new tactics, new ways of going to market and interacting with your partner. And so your branch managers, your sales managers, others at that director level are going to have that responsibility for implementation, so they have to be part of the process, all right? So number 2 then, let's think about and hopefully give you some ideas in terms of what partner should you choose to take part with you as you look to reimagine your partnerships. Well, I think the process in total of reimagining partnerships requires a tight focus and new thinking. So it's important you choose your partner carefully. Some tips for you. Number 1, choose a partner who represents significant opportunity for you and for the partner, right? You're going to want to invest a lot of time, energy, and effort into this. It's going to make a difference, so there has to be an upside. So find a partner where there's significant opportunities that if you come up with new strategies, new commitments to each other, if you break down the trust issues in those organizations, there's going to be a significant win-win for you and your partners, all right? Now, number 2 is find a partner where there is a foundation of respect and ideally trust. You know, one of the things you're going to find out in the research is that the number 1 issue impacting partnerships between distributors and manufacturers is this lack of trust. Now, you're going to have some tools to break that down, but to start, find a partner where there's at least a foundation of respect and trust to begin the process, all right? Number 3, find a partner who, like you and like your team, are willing to commit the manpower and the time to the process. I'll be the first one to tell you that this isn't easy, right? I mean, if it was easy, it would already be done. Now, we're going to make it easier for you and your partner because we've given you great tools, a great roadmap. But it's going to require some time, so find the people who are going to be able to commit the time and the manpower. Number 4, find a partner who their team, their organization, their culture, right? Where there's an insatiable desire to get better, an insatiable desire to improve, and an insatiable desire to tackle the hard problems, because that's what this reimagining partnerships is all about. All right, let's take a look at number 3, the third category of tips for you. And that's how do you go about introducing this project to your partner? At the very beginning, just simply picking up the phone with your key contact and the partner you want to go through this process with to explain that you've been reading the NAED research on the need to reimagine partnerships, and that you'd like to explore the ideas in the process with them. Second then, after you've had that initial conversation, consider sending parts 1 and 3 of the original research report. And these are titled The Numbers Tell the Story and A Call to Reimagine Partnerships. Now, these 2 documents will require about 30 minutes of reading, but can help you start the conversation about why you'd like to tackle this very important effort with your partner. Number 3, have a follow-up conversation after they've had a chance to read those 2 reports to assess if your partner sees the need as you do. The fourth thing you're going to want to do is, from there, I recommend that the 2 of you, you and your partner, review the introduction to the Deep Thinking Playbook. There's a lot of tools that you're going to see in here. There's an introduction. Read that. Have a face-to-face meeting together, the 2 of you, the 2 champions, to scope out how you'd like to proceed, okay? The fourth thing I'd like to suggest to you is, the internal work that you should be doing. And what I recommend that you do is that even before you get together with your internal team, get together with that with that partners champion and review this entire book of deep thinking tools. Now, I guarantee you, why all the tools have been designed as a holistic system, and every single one of them are proven to add value to helping you reimagine that partnership and having more strategic conversations with your partner. Every tool might not be right for you. That's okay. So together, you and your partner go through the playbook and agree which tools will be utilized in what sequence, all right? Now, once you do that, now you can begin to communicate your plan and your strategy with your internal team members. And not only the team members that are on this project with you, this initiative with you, but if there's other individuals throughout the organization so that you can let the entire organization know that you're going to be bringing new thinking in terms of how to interact with your strategic partners, you might want to do that to cast a wider net of awareness of the initiative through the organization, all right? Now, ideally, those tools that you elect to use, in most cases, you're going to want to meet internally with your team prior to meeting with your partners, all right? And I think to completely think through the framework and to get your organization thinking organized to bring to the table to your partner, right? What you're going to want to do is you're not going to want to go to any meeting with your partner with a blank piece of paper, right? You and your team are going to want to do your homework prior to, go through the exercises, go through the thought process, go through the frameworks prior to meeting with the partners. Now, here's what I recommend. 2 tools early on in the playbook that you're going to want to consider utilizing upfront very quickly are the tools titled the 9 Big Questions and the Business Model Discussion. Out of the research, what came out, what was discovered, were 9 big questions that if we want to reimagine partnerships, think more strategically, and make deeper commitments to each other, there are 9 big questions that you have to think deep and hard about. The second is the business model. Do you have the ability to communicate your business model to your supply chain partner, and vice versa? So what I recommend you do is you take these 2 tools and meet with your team before your very first meeting with your partner and go through that work so that you go to that first meeting super prepared, okay? All right, and then the last thing that I'd love to share with you here so that you can really get the most out of this process are the timelines. It's really important that you and your partners develop timelines for meeting and implementation. A couple thoughts real quick. Number one, the number one challenge of our beta groups, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, was that they have had to overcome the tyranny of the urgent, right? Life happens, we were told a number of different times as to why meetings were canceled and why the project got delayed. And while we understand this, please, it's important that you, A, define the rhythm that is right for you and your partner to meet and ensure that your initial intent is being met. Don't lose that focus, set that rhythm. B, hard code the meetings and that rhythm that you and your partner have talked about into your calendars. And C, get a commitment up front from those on your team that these timelines are going to be met. Hey, I hope these tips help you. I am, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm excited that you have elected to raise your hand and to lead this very important project of reimagining partnerships between you and your supply chain partner. It's absolutely critical. The age of disruption that we're in, the significant changes that we are facing, it's imperative that more than ever before, we have the opportunity and the commitment to sit down with our partners to develop what those true win-win strategies are, and then make the commitments to each other to make it happen. And you know what? I know that as you and your partner utilize the tools that are provided to you here, you're going to be able to do exactly that. Good luck to you. Go out there and reimagine the partnerships and drive that growth and profitability that you all are looking for.